Alright, folks. So, before I get into the meat and potatoes of this main video, right? And before I go on my little rant here, alright? I just want to say to you folks that whatever I mention or point at or whatever, please, by all means, intents, and purposes, do not go after them directly because at the end of the day, it's gonna bring more harm than good than anything. So the main reason why I pointed this out and everything here directly in this video here is that I have a little mini rant that I want to discuss with you folks and I want to get out and talk with my feelings with and everything. It's not something super serious or big or anything, and it's not like it's a huge deal. It's not anything life threatening or anything, but it is an annoyance that I just want to point out and discuss here in this video here and talk about. It's been happening for over a couple months now and everything, and I think it's about time I point a little bit at it and just give my thoughts a little bit on it out there. So for those of you folks who probably know, who've mainly been on this channel here and everything for a good minute or so, is that I do the horror AUs, right? Mainly My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Those horror AUs, those are still going pretty decent, not as strong as they used to be, but you know what? They're still kicking in good gear and everything, I'd say. But there's also stuff outside that also has their own horror AUs. Nowhere near the same popularity level and whatnot, but there's still some of their own horror AUs that are outside of My Little Pony. The second biggest thing I would say is SpongeBob SquarePants, right? And surprisingly enough, my first video on the sponge virus that I've been doing, originally I think it was set in the language was originally in Russian, but someone translated it over to English. But that video that I've done like about 8 or so months ago or whatever, 9 months ago, right? The sponge virus, that has been kicking in and quite some damn popularity. It's nearly at 6,000 views currently, if I remember correctly, or halfway there from 50,000 or something, right? It's pretty damn big is what I'm trying to say, and it kind of took me by surprise because a while the hive virus, My Little Pony hive virus, was the popular at the time, but no, the sponge virus has been really kicking into high gear for the past month or so, 2 months or so. It's like 4,000 away from 6,000 if I remember correctly. But anyway, folks, now finally getting into the main course meal of this video here. So, and again, like I'm saying before, do not go after these folks or anything by any means. At the end of the day, we all have our own opinion and we all have our own justified, reasons for, you know, feeling the way we feel, expressing the way we express and whatnot. And that's perfectly fine. So the main thing that's really been annoying me, that's really annoys me, excuse me, lately with that video is folks coming in and saying that I can't read or I have the brain capacity of a 2 year old or something, or freaking I ain't finished my English class, I don't even know my own damn words, skull emoji, just cringe hate comments and stuff and everything. And I normally don't make content or really address hateful comments or negativity comments in that way directly because most of the time it's whatever, and it still is to me, a whatever kind of thing. At the end of the day, someone's just gonna hate you for no reason or context whatsoever. That's just how life is at the end of the day, right? Like, it doesn't matter what the hell you do. Someone somewhere is just gonna hate your living guts, and they like want you dead or something, and it can just be for absolutely zero reason, right? Zero fricks given, right? For no reason at all. And there may never be an answer to that. But what annoys me with these comments is that I feel like a lot of these folks here, and when I mean folks, I mean, you know, whether it's the people that come in and enjoy my content or the folks that just are newcomers. I don't like to divide things. That's why I don't say us and them. I just keep everyone in a circle, you know, right? Because I hate saying them or whatever, you know. I don't like to have things black and white, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, folks, the main reason why it annoys me on this one here is that I feel like certain folks are just coming in and I know they're watching the video. They're not just going in the video just to shit on me and just to give me crap or whatever because look at this loser and then just leave. Although I think there is some on that. I do feel like majority of these hate comments honestly are watching my video, but they're way too judgy on how I sound or how I pronounce words. Now, obviously, folks, right? If you've been on this channel, I think it's a no-brainer now that I am clearly not the greatest at reading. I'm not the greatest speller. I'm not the greatest at expressing or talking or using words correctly. I'm not the greatest at any of that, right? But I mean, like, who is? You know, I'm not perfect. You know, I'm only human at the end of the day, and no human or humanoid. You know, even if you don't identify as human, you know, you're still humanoid in some sense. But anyway, we're all not perfect, right? No one is perfect, and I guess it just annoys me because I feel like certain folks just hear my voice or they listen in on how I'm mispronouncing words and how I'm not saying them correctly and how it just aggravates them. I am grateful and fortunate enough though that the majority of you folks don't really care. I mean obviously yeah, to an extent, you know, yeah, rightfully so. After all, you can't just, you know, you gotta understand something really, you know, you gotta understand the context of what the creator is making. But I'm fortunate enough to, well, you folks brush all of those flaws aside, you know. You don't look at it harshly in a negative light, or at the very least, you know, you just kindly, you know, correct me or something, you know, it's spelled da da da, or it's pronounced this or whatever. You know, you folks don't really I don't think you folks really care too much if I miss 5 words or even half the words or whatever, you know, because I am overall trying at the end of the day, you know, and honestly, it just annoys me when folks say that I can't read, because to be honest, I too can read. I'm in fact I've been reading pretty good. A prime example I feel is just look at my more recent videos and stuff. You know, go look at the grand declines that I've just completed and done. You know, I'd say I've done pretty, you know, decent on that. Sure, I missed some words or whatever, but honestly, I've done pretty damn good getting those descriptions done and scenes done with the descriptions and everything pretty decently compared to when I first did the dementia review series in a sense with all the grand memories of all the all the grand memories of all the lovely years by Dante Timberwolf. See, even just right there, I slipped up there, folks. But if you folks go back on like all the grand memories by Dante Timberwolf, right? It's about 2.5 years now compared to the Grand Decline, right, folks? My If you watch that video, my reading in all the grand memories is really not that great. I think I've missed. I don't think I even got like half the words done in there. I think at least half, possibly, but I hugely misstepped a lot of the descriptions in that album and everything, and I really fumbled though. And I did apologize a bit too much though, I feel, but overall, despite that video's flaws and everything and imperfections to an extent, I'm still extremely proud of it. And it's one of the most things that I'm still proud of making in that video, because it's something that I saw the Caretaker fandom not really talk about. And I felt, you know what? I'm gonna freaking make a video on all the grand memories of all the lovely years, and this is my album that really speaks to me, and it's personally one of my damn favorites. It still is one of my favorites personally and everything. And I am debating still whether or not I should do like a remake in a sense of that album and going over it, or moving on from it. But either way, despite those imperfections that I wish that I could change now, looking back on it, like, yeah, maybe I didn't need to apologize so many damn times, because I did apologize too much, but that was more of out of genuine and everything, because stuff like that, in the Caretaker fandom and stuff, is serious and everything, dementia music and stuff, and I take seriousness, very seriously. I'll rather be too genuine and too apologetic and too serious on something that's very serious, very real, and very effective on lives than to be too goofy and seem disgenuine and disheartened, especially on something that's super effective with everyone, like dementia or Alzheimer's, stuff like that, folks, But overall, it just annoys me when folks say that I can't read because, like I said, I can read, Look, I'm not the greatest at reading, okay? It's weird though. I think it's not only because of um it's not really so much of reading as it is getting it out, I guess, in a sense. Folks, when I read something in my head, it's like a super AI generated computer, right? Like I know everything and I get all the words correctly when I read it in my head. But as soon as I speak it out loud, then it's like I fumble all of a sudden. It's like riding a bike or something, I guess, in a sense or whatever. Well, in my head, it's like I'm just hitting the throttle, right? And I'm cruising along. But as soon as I like to start pedaling, then all of a sudden the bike in of itself just wobbles all the damn sudden. And you're like, whoa, you gotta keep your balance and stuff. And though, I feel like that's me, honestly, in a nutshell. And you know what? I'm not going to be the greatest reader, and I am still going to miss many words. It's going to happen. I'm going to mispronounce things. I'm going to swirl my words together at some point. It's going to happen. I have many imperfections as a human, and that's due to how my life honestly started overall, and I really had to work my way up to get to where I am today, not just, physically and everything, but mostly mentally and psychologically and everything. And I feel like to the folks that say I can't read, they just see the imperfections in me and they don't really, you know, look past that. And I'm grateful and fortunate enough to where the majority of you folks can look past that. Before you folks came in through James, Jamie, and everything, right? And before the horror AUs and everything. Before you guys even came in, right? Because I've had this channel, I've said it before, I don't think you folks realize, I've had this channel for a long ass time. Like frickin' 11 years now. It's freaking insane as hell. But anyway, folks, the majority of comments that I would get before even really would either just be spam comments like bot comments or whatever that'll have a weird link or some weird, I don't know, language, whatever, I don't know, Russian, China, just a language I didn't really understood, and Google Translate wasn't really a thing back then or whatever, so I couldn't really translate it to even understand it, or they'll have just a random link which I was too afraid to even click on, honestly, in the first place. But other than those two things, I would just get hate comments on me sounding like a nerd or freaking, I don't know, me not reading, just before and everything. I remember back actually from I remember back from a Roblox gameplay I did a while back, years and years ago. I played a Roblox horror game, and there was like a part two to it, and I clicked on an item, and I'm like, wait, what is that? Or something, and I just completely brushed off the subtitles though, and someone legit just got super damn pissed at me, and a lot of the times, especially in my younger years, I would brush aside the papers that would have words in it or subtitles or whatever. I would just completely dismiss it and ignore it on purpose because I was honestly embarrassed with how my reading skills even were then. If some of you folks saying that I can't read, if you think my reading is bad now, go watch my older videos and look at how bad my reading is then. It's night and day, folks. So to those of you folks that say I can't freaking read, go look at my old videos and see how far I've come from there, because it not only is it just cringy, but it was just embarrassing back then to me. It still kind of is, but it was even more so back then. So I just completely would brush aside subtitles or titles or books or whatever that would have words in it, a sentence or a paragraph, whatever. I would just brush it aside because reading it out loud was a complete fumble for me. But anyway, folks, someone legit left a comment saying, "Learn to read, you dumbass," or stupid, something like that, whatever, freaking read, and whatever, something mean like that or whatever, and just left it at that. And I was kind of stunned by it because even back then, because I looked over at it and I'm like, that didn't need to escalate like that. I'm not a narrator. I mean, I'm kind of am because I read the AUs and stuff. But, like, also, you folks can read it yourself, too, these horror AUs and stuff that I do, you folks can read it yourself. I don't have to read it all for you, you know. I don't have to read anything to you folks. I don't have to do anything for you folks, but I still love to share content that you folks enjoy and love, but I also like to give in on my side and express my feelings and stuff that I may love or that I might find interesting or passionate about and sharing with you guys. That's how I always feel on this channel and how I'm always going to feel. It's a 50-50. I'm not going to be completely selfish and completely self-centered to, well, if you don't believe in my beliefs, you don't agree with my views or something, then you can get out. But I'm also not gonna be enslaved to, my audience to, well, I feel peer pressure where it's like, oh shit, I need to do this or they're all gonna hate me and I'm gonna have nobody. I like to keep things at a 50-50. I make content that you folks enjoy, at least the majority of the time, that I know a lot of you folks are gonna enjoy and love and be happy on. But I also like to give in on my side on the stuff that I enjoy or that I feel passionate about and sharing them with you folks as well. A yin yang, in a sense. I like to give a 50-50. I share my stuff and in return I give the stuff that I know you folks will mainly enjoy. I've always been that way and I want to keep it that way, folks. But yeah, overall, at the end of the day, and like I said, don't spread hate to them or to the mean comments or anything because, and maybe at the end of the day, they just had a shitty bad day and they get irritated at folks who can't freaking read or something like that. At least in terms of what they see, because And yeah, when I look at it back on myself and when I read it in my head only, then I get it. But when I read it out loud, then it's a fumbling thing. At the end of the day, folks, no one is perfect. You know, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. No one is perfect, you know, and we all have flaws and everything. And why, sure, some folks may be like, I don't get what's so bad about the reading thing, dude. Just read normally. Like what the fuck, man? You know, it's like, at the end of the day, you know, reading is not my greatest skill. Okay, it's never gonna be, especially reading out loud. But I've honestly made a significant damn improvement on it. You know, like I said before, my Grand Decline video. Hell, even earlier today with the freaking Lavender Incident Part 4, you know, I've done pretty damn decent, you know, with reading there, you know, and a bunch of other horror AUs and everything. I think I mainly get it down. I don't think I was even too bad, honestly, on the sponge virus. I don't think I was that bad, honestly, but it honestly just annoys me. I don't hate it or anything, but it just makes me roll my eyes whenever I get a comment, especially on my most popular video, of folks that seemingly just see my flaws, you know, displayed, but they don't, you know, look past it. You know, it just annoys me because even if you have a thought on something, you know, you don't have to spit it out. You don't have to say it. You know, take words from Thumper from Bambi, you know, legit. You know, if you can't say something nice, then don't say anything at all. You know, I stand by that, and I feel like we really need that in society today. You know, people are too open with the words, I feel, and I think that's why there's so much hate and chaos in the world today, because some folks, well, sure, it's justified, I struggle with it too, but some folks can't keep their mouths shut sometimes, you know, and I have it too myself, but I think ahead, and I don't just keep it shut because, well, that's not a very nice thing to say. I keep it shut because, you know, I don't want conflict, you know, or I don't want drama or whatever, you know. It's one of those things where even in this video, this very video that you're watching, you know, to some of you folks who say I can't read and shit, you know, even to you folks who are some of you folks that are watching this video and everything, you know, you may have that in your head that may be justified with the proof and everything, but you don't have to spit it out. You know, you can keep it to yourselves. You can keep it in and everything. And some of you folks may think that I am unaware of it or something, but let me tell you, I am pretty damn aware of it, you know, and that's why before I would be cautious on it, but now I just don't really care that much, you know. So what if I miss 5, 10? So what if I miss the whole damn book of words or whatever, you know? To an extent, yeah, I get it, you know. Why read something if you can't read? But the overall point is that I do try, you know, and just because I can't pedal perfectly, in quote, you know, as an analogy with that, you know, just because I can't get everything on the dot doesn't fully mean I can't read, because I can too read. You folks can see it, and I think many of you folks that say that I can't, you see that I can. You're just too picky because I can't pronounce the big boys or big words or even simple little words, you know. You're just, some of you folks are just too damn nitpicky, and that just annoys me most than anything else, because honestly, I can read, you know. It's obvious. So I feel like if I miss a word or two, so be it, you know. If I mispronounce something, if I slur my words together, so be it. You know, I'm not gonna be a perfectionist like I so desperately was in the past, where I wanted to be perfect and everything, you know, literally in the sense. But now I don't care. If my flaws come, my flaws come. If I miss a word, I miss a word. If I slur my words, I slur my words. If I sound like I have a freaking oh god, what's it called? Speech impediment. Yeah, if I have a speech impediment and I sound like I'm from Piggly or whatever, from Looney Tunes, you know, Piggy or whatever, whereas wee, you know, like what I freaking do, then you know it so beat it, you know, because I really don't care, you know, and if I did look at my flaws hugely like that and was caution on it and everything, I would be extremely depressed. That's partially why I honestly got depressed back then and everything or too, is that you know, I didn't want to read, you know, I didn't want to do this or that because I hated how, and I still do to an extent, how my flaws are, you know, but I'm generally happier just accepting my cons. You know, I'm generally happier accepting my faults and flaws and everything. You know, and I think that's when we can truly, you know, overall be happy and everything. Not by perfecting it or anything, but just simply accepting it. You know, because it just is what it is. You know, many of you folks may have a flaw in something that I may find easy, you know, and reading, while that may be a cringy thing to have not be a good skill at, it's just one of the things that I kind of suck at. But you know what? I'm still gonna try. I can't just not read forever for the rest of my life, you know, or not read out loud, you know. You can't just stop. But anyway, folks, that is pretty much all I really have to say for this video here. I just wanted to give this little rant here to you folks, and like I said, again, don't go harassing or attack anyone that I mention. You know, even in the videos of main comments and everything, because it's not going to do any good at the end of the day. And again, I normally don't point out hateful comments or negativity overall and everything, but I just overall find it annoying. Like I said a bunch of times before in this video, I just find it annoying how certain folks just can't look past my flaws and just accept the character that I am, you know, or just enjoy the story for what it is instead of being so damn nitpicky. You know, if I'm so bad at reading and everything, just freaking read it yourself. Or if you can't read it, freaking let Microsoft AI narrate or some shit, you know, read it for you, you know. And like I said before, you folks can read this yourselves. I don't have to read it for you. I don't have to read anything, but I still do it because I know you folks enjoy it. And plus, it helps give context and everything. And it gives me something to do and it gives me a skill to work on. You know, whether I perfection it at the end of the day, you know, perfect it or whatever, it doesn't really matter to me because, you know, at the end of the day, it's just a skill that I'm not the greatest at, nor do I want to be. And, you know, at the end of the day, folks are just gonna, you know, at the end of the day, certain folks are just gonna see one flaw, you know, one faulty, one bad call, and just stick to it. And that's all they're gonna see in your image is just that one slip, mistake, whatever. That one bad apple from the good apple tree in a sense, you know. There can be many beautiful, big, sexy, juicy apples, but certain folks just see one bad apple in that apple tree and they just assume that the entire tree is just filled up with bad apples. And all they have to do is just look around, examine other things, you know, and maybe certain folks have, but I have a feeling other folks haven't. And that's all they're going to see in me, you know, and you know what? Oh well, you know, kind of good for them. But anyway, folks, that's all I really have to say. And yes, I did ramble and go in circles and everything. But overall, I just wanted to express to you folks on my little frustration with this. Again, it's not like a huge deal. It's not life changing. It's not freaking, in a life crisis or anything. But it just annoys me bit by bit, to have this and everything. But you know what? I accepted it coming anyway because certain folks are just going to hate you no matter what. And it is nice that I do get love and support from the majority of you folks now instead of just weird, I don't know, Chinese, freaking Hebrew, Indian, or Russian comment or whatever, or a weird link, or just a hate comment bashing on me because I sound stupid and autistic and retard, or something like that, whatever. But anyway, folks, that's all I really have to say. I just wanted to get this out and express my feelings and everything on this subject matter and everything. Again, do not go and harass or attack or defend me in any way with these commenters or whatever. And overall, it's just their view and their opinion. And I just ask that you folks don't, you know, don't go attacking and don't go defending or whatever. It's gonna bring chaos to everyone at the end of the day. And again, the only reason I'm making this video is simply an expression of it, and that's all there really is to it. We don't have to go any further than it, but yeah. Overall, that's pretty much all I have to really say for this video here, and I just simply wanted to express my thoughts and feelings on these few folks, number of folks that have been pointing the bad apples in me and sticking to them. But yeah, overall, thank you folks so much for watching this video here. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe for more. I definitely have more videos coming in the future, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you all sooner or later. Bye bye, everyone.